No, she's doesn't want to travel anymore.
No?
Do it now. I don't know where.
Oh, no, I was reading. See, you want to go to the house out there? You go to the house? No, I'm good. They're all there. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, oh, you guys are over here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got. Here, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll just put it
Warren,
Yes.
they were looking for you.
It's working.
Okay, 54 came up, so I wasn't sure what that meant. Thank you. That should be good there. Yeah. Yeah, just thank you. Thank you. Is that going to be good? Yeah. Good morning, everyone. We will be opening the service this morning with a slideshow of Marjorie's life. And so just enjoy and look at the memories and just see what God is going to open up here. Thank you. What a car. Isn't it beautiful? Memories, wonderful, wonderful memories. Pictures really can tell a story, can't they? You know, the family thanks everybody for coming here today to celebrate a life that really spoke to a lot of people. My name is Mary Bolt, and I've been given the honor today to officiate this service and come along with others to share this woman's long-lasting impact on so many lives over her life. I've been asked to read Marjorie's journey of her 88 years. So please listen to this amazing story of this woman who has touched each of your lives in unforgettable ways. And after I've read this, Darlene, and then grandson Braxton, friend Francois, and then Warren will come up and speak. And then I'll share some memories from Brenda. So Marjorie Betty Jager was born October the 19th, 1936, and died quietly in her own bed with her 2 daughters and son by her side on March the 30th. Her loving husband, Cedric Jager, predeceased her in 2016, along with her family members over the previous years. Father Paul Buzik, Mother Nettie Burge, and stepfather Gilbert Burge, sisters Mary Graham, Alice Susie, Rose Bradley, Jenny Bates, and Merville Buzik, brothers Joey and Johnny. 5 sisters and 2 brothers she had, and said she was the last and ready to go and join them. She is, however, survived by her daughter, Darlene, daughter Brenda, and son-in-law David, son Warren, and daughter-in-law Tracy, grandchildren Mitchell, Tawny, Shay, Braxton, Morgan, Mayred, Colby, and Connor, and great-granddaughter Penelope, and sister-in-law Carol. As you know, Marjorie was a very smart, loving, vivacious, outgoing, and active person in her lifetime. She was compassionate and had a big heart, helping and giving to others through her community and family. She could at times be very opinionated and would tell you exactly what she thought. That's what I was told. She was loyal and trustworthy. She had a very authentic personality, which you know, as she touched everyone here today. She was the youngest of 7 in her family and very much loved and spoiled growing up. She was born on a small farm in Borden, Saskatchewan. From Borden, her family moved to a small town where they owned a general store before the war. Her family eventually lived in North Battleford, where her father had a barber shop and her mother baked pies for various restaurants during the war. During that time, Marjorie lost her brother, her 18-year-old brother, Joey, in a plane crash during war training. The family then made a move to Vancouver looking for better opportunities. Marjorie was 7 years old. The family lived in one room, in a rooming house, which her mother, Nettie, managed. Her father opened a barber shop, and her sisters opened a hairdressing shop and later a bar. The family moved to another rooming house, and then they bought a home to live in a better neighborhood. Eventually, her mother bought a rooming house of her own to manage. Marjorie worked in a restaurant before school, and she volunteered at the Orpheum Theatre as an usher in the evenings. This enabled her to see the big name bands, entertainers, and shows of the time for free, which she loved. Marjorie's father passed away when she was 17 years old. This resulted in her foregoing her plans and dreams to become a nurse, as she was required to help her mother with the work of the rooming house. In high school, Marjorie excelled in math, so much so her teacher suggested she go to university to study math. She got her first career job at Saunders Sales as a clerk, where she worked on the front desk answering phones and eventually did accounting and bookkeeping. How interesting that her math aptitude led her to the accounting and bookkeeping. While working there, she made acquaintances with Cedric Jager, a fisherman with his own fishing business who lived in Shearwater but stayed in Vancouver on his fishing boat next to the Bayshore Hotel. After a year, he asked her out and they started to date. As a teenager and a young woman, Marjorie's loved sewing, swimming, dancing, and frequenting the clubs, going to the beach and attending arts and sports events. At that time, there were numerous dance competitions in Vancouver. Some of you might remember that, I don't know. That her and her male friends won. When Sid started dating her, he took dance lessons, specifically jiving lessons so he could learn how to dance well with her. Are there many male dancers here in the room? They had great fun and loved dancing together, even in their 70s. They won first prize for a jiving contest at a dance they attended, winning over young people in their 20s. Marjorie used to visit her sister Rose in Los Angeles, which fueled her passion for fashion. When dated Sid, she got him visiting her boss's suit tailor and influenced his desire to look hip and fashionable. He even started regularly visiting the barber she recommended. Ladies, we do influence the men in our lives, and sometimes we even help dress them. Even choosing clothes for them sometimes. At 23, after dating Sid for 2 years, Marjorie married the love of her life. In 1960, on the day of their very first anniversary, their daughter Darlene was born. 4 years later, Warren came along, and then 3 years after that, Brenda. In 1966, after purchasing a building lot in Coquitlam, Sid proceeded to build their family home. In 1968, they moved in, they loved the new house, and hosted many events and Christmas parties for family and friends. Marjorie was an active homemaker, taking care of her children and participating in her community. Her and Sid worked together to build a successful business that did well. She supported the family business, Superfishing Company Limited, by doing the books and investing the resources. As the girls grew and got involved in sports and dancing recitals, Marjorie worked tirelessly sewing outfits for the girls. She was an expert sewer and worked with other mothers to make gorgeous outfits for the kids. Marjorie was the hockey and lacrosse mom who got the parents' cheering squad going for the boys when they played. She had been a cheerleader in high school, and it showed. She was loud and vocal in her cheering. She had said when she was younger, she got asked on dates to lots of sports events and big games just because of her enthusiasm for sports and her cheering. Because of her love of sports and community, she also became the secretary for Scouts and the Hockey Association in Coquitlam. Marjorie and Sid loved to travel together. There were many short trips and 2 notable adventures, one through the US in a camper and one traveling throughout Australia. Marjorie also went to Hong Kong with a friend that she greatly enjoyed. She was so excited for grandchildren that when they finally arrived, she immersed herself in their lives. She loved them dearly and enjoyed hearing about their success as well as their trials and tribulations. I think this would be a good time now to call upon one at a time to share what is on their hearts. Darlene, would you like to come?
I'm Darlene. I'm Marjorie's oldest daughter. And I just wanted to say a few words. It's going to be a bit hard. I might cry, sorry. But I'm sad to see my mother go. She really loved this community and enjoyed going. Okay, I'll start again. And she loved this community, and she enjoyed going shopping, out to lunch and dinner, the movies and bowling and seeing friends. She was very active in the community. And people knew her everywhere we went. If I took her to the library, they all knew her. We'd walk in and they'd be, hey Marge. She was quite a resilient person and quite resistant to aging, but also stubborn to not acknowledge her limitations. We accidentally found out about 3 months ago she had a spot of cancer in the right lung and spots in her liver. And she said she was fine, that she'd lived a good life, and that she was ready to go if she had to. So she wasn't upset with the diagnosis as much as I was and her family, but she was quite peaceful. She was in peace with it. She had no signs or symptoms up until about 2 weeks before her passing. It was a fast-growing small cell carcinoma, which I am glad we were aware of, as it gave her an opportunity to say goodbye while she was able, and we kept her home as she wished to be with the family on her passing. We were all ready because we knew about it. Everybody could come, and we are already set up with the community to help her and keep her comfortable and assist her to stay home. And they were wonderful, and they were caring, and they gave us very much information, which was good for us to help us along. My mom was a very warm and caring person. As I said, everywhere we went, people knew her. She talked to people and was interested in them and who they were. I spent a lot of time with her in the last few years, visiting, going to movies, and out to eat. I helped her to get where she wanted when she couldn't drive. There were certain circumstances where she'd get sick. She broke her tibia and she wasn't able to drive, which was very hard on her because she was so independent. She was, in all the times that I was driving her around, she was very fun and vivacious and a pleasure to spend time with. We had quite some nice experiences. She was very headstrong and stubborn regarding what she wanted to do and what medical care she would accept. It made it hard for me at times to convince her to maybe get a hearing aid or that her new glass prescription was wrong because it was really affecting her driving. And that she needed to take sodium in chicken broth, magnesium and potassium so she wouldn't get confused, have no appetite, and get weak and fall. And she didn't want to take pills. So after a few episodes of learning the hard way, not taking them, she actually made an effort to take what helped her to make her feel better. And Mom was only sick and unable to think and manage for the last 1.5 weeks of her life. The last few days she wasn't able to talk, but she did understand mostly what everybody said and could answer in one-word answers. The cancer took her very fast, and Mom was not the type of person to feel she couldn't do as she wished without it greatly affecting her. So, because of that, it was probably a good thing that she went so quickly. She had many setbacks and overcame them enough to have a quality of life that was acceptable to her until the cancer hit. Just about 2 weeks before her passing, she was taking the car around the block at night to practice driving as her broken tibia had healed and she was ready to get back on the road to her daily life. Her passing as quickly as she did and still able to communicate up to the end was probably a blessing. And one last note was that it was so interesting that her best friend actually passed on the same day she did. Thank you.
Here's your book.
grandson Braxton is going to come up now and share some memories and thoughts.
Does this come up? Hi, I'm Braxton, grandson of Bubba. And I remember when I first met Bubba, actually, when we were going down the driveway with Mom. I must have been maybe 3 or 4, but Mom said, "Do you know where we are?" And I said, "No." And she said, "You're here to see my mom." And I said, "Your mom? But you're my mom, and then she's your mom." It's obvious now, but I hadn't really thought about it at the time. And through the years, it was a beautiful relationship that started that day. Through all the events and all the ceremonies and all the birthdays, Bubba was always there. But not only was she always there, but she was always the life of everywhere she was. If she wasn't there, you were waiting for her to come. If she wasn't going to make it, you were calling her to let her know that we're waiting for you. And she always had a story. She would tell her stories with voices or with finger patting or some kind of sound effect that actually I think she's in a league of her own for the way that she would describe events that I haven't found in anybody at all. 70 years old, 80 years old, 20, 15. It was a unique skill. And not only did you need an event to see Bubba, but she was always there when you needed her. If you needed to go talk, and you could go knock on her door, announced or unannounced, but you had to be kind of careful when you went unannounced. I don't know if you know this, but perms are not naturally fluffy. And the first time that I learned that was when I knocked on the door shortly after one of her showers. And it was not up. You're booklessly bamboozling, Bubba. But bookless isn't probably as a positive word as terrifyingly. One of the events that I remember very well was when I went to a soccer, bowling, and pizza event. And I'm not a very good bowler. I wasn't when I was 7 either. Haven't got better. But I wasn't good to start. But there were other kids that were getting strikes and spares, and I was despairing for all of their spares. And one of my turns, Bubba informed me that she would be taking it. And I didn't know what to expect, but I also kind of did, and it passed exactly as I would have hoped. Maybe I manifested it, but she goes up and swings her arm back and hunches down in pose, or maybe she just stands like that, and she swings and falls back flat on her bum as the ball is rolling down the aisle with her legs spread, really just like a cartoon. And it's a strike. So I didn't realize that she's actually a very avid bowler. Hadn't really thought about that. It was just a miracle. But I had such a special relationship with Bubba, and she's the only person that you could really get along with. She wouldn't run away if you said something she didn't like. She would just let it out then and there, and then it was over with. Her catchphrase with me was, "I love you, Braxton, but sometimes I hate you." Or she would give you a smack, a really hard one, actually. But then you would lock eyes with her, and a moment would pass, and just like the movie, you know. Love you, Braxton. Love you, Bubba. But she was strong until the end, as I always thought in my mind that she would be. She didn't forget who she was. She wasn't unable to move until maybe the last couple of days. And she never lost her sense of humor. when I walked in, maybe the last 2 days, and her voice was completely different. I didn't know what to expect. She's just very still and gauntly. With her voice changed, I said, "Baba, are you okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm okay." And I said, "Baba, do you remember who I am?" And she goes, "No." "Who are you?" But she had everything until the end, and that was the strength that I always knew Baba of having. But it was so special right until the end because of how special the beginning was. The cocoa mornings in the microwave with the hot cakes. I didn't know what hot cakes were until she said them that way. Or the French toast. And the most special song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away. And they say that she was singing out of tune, but I hadn't really thought about it. Love you, Baba.
Thank you, Braxton. Isn't it wonderful to have wonderful relationships with the grandparent? So special, so special. Warren, would you like to come up now? Oh, I think, no, Francois first, sorry.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. If we could all maybe just take a moment and go back in our mind's eye and remember a moment with Marge, and some of the good ones, some of the tough ones, some of the ones, the lessons she taught us, and some of us, most all of us, I'm thinking. So if we could all just take that moment. Thank you very much for this honor to speak today. I was speaking with my mother yesterday, who reminded me of a past story of Marge and her wonderful heart and things that she did, unannounced, just because it's who she was. When the passing of my father back in 1989, at the wake of our home, she prepared a complete meal for all of us and all of our guests, and she presented it to our home, and she served it to everyone there. My mother reminded me of that yesterday. She wishes she could be here today, but she ails as well. God bless her. And these memories that we keep is what's going to keep her with us forever and ever and ever. Very important to keep her. Her love and her passion for life and her passion for everybody. Everybody. She was tough on me. I know she was tough on Warren. She was tough on a lot of us, eh, Larry? Steve. We all grew up together, and Marge was a big part of that in our lives, for sure. She taught me some life lessons, some that I will tell you, and some I will not. But I know it is part of my makeup today, and that's the truth of my youth and my history with the Jagger family. Wonderful family, wonderful friends. I love you all. This is a tough time, obviously. The celebration of life, though, is a time to celebrate, and we will celebrate, and we'll celebrate her great life that she lived and the wonderful stories that she's told, and things I did not know, and a lot of us in this room probably have never heard, obviously, before, but those are fantastic. I didn't know how much of an athlete she was and how adventurous she was. I mean, when I knew her, she was a family, and she was a mother, and she stayed home, and she took care of of all of us. Let's be clear about that. So it is a great honor to have this opportunity to speak amongst you all, and I just want to wish you all the best, and God bless you, and God bless you, Warren, and God bless you, Darlene, and your whole family, and all of us. Please be well. Thank you.
everyone's being touched here today by her story and about what people are sharing. Isn't it wonderful that even when somebody passes, that you do have the memories? And it's to focus on the good ones, because there's always, usually some bad ones, but it's where we focus. Warren, please.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for all coming out to support the family and remembering Mom. She was a very special person, as we all know, and I was the biggest pain in her side, I'm sure. And I think you all know me, being Warren, the son, and she taught me life lessons as well. Some were easily understood, others were put into me with the wrath of Marge. So, I guess we're here to celebrate her wonderful life, and she wouldn't want any of us to be sad. She said over and over how much of an amazing life she had, and you were all part of it, and that's what created all the memories we have of her. She's reminded me of them over and over, of how great her life was. As we know, she was born in Borden, Saskatchewan, and spent the early years there. Their family moved to North Battleford for a time, and at 7 years of age, they moved to the big city of Vancouver. The whole family came, what was left at the time. And as Mom grew up here in the city, she embraced all new adventures that confronted her. She never backed away from anything. She had a very eventful life. As a young woman, Mom met Dad in the thriving 50s, and she prided herself on hooking a younger man and falling in love head over heels with her instantly. The pictures I remember seeing here was when she was in the front yard of my Baba, and I remember she was the one who sanctioned and then demanded the wedding. She said it was time, Sid, to get off the pot. So my Baba was the original version of Marge. They were very unique individuals. A lot of people would describe Mom as a firecracker, and she had a lot of spunk, but I thought she was more of a powder keg and could go at any time. She definitely had a zest for life. Her laugh was infectious and everybody knew it. She could light up a room. And she would sing and we would all kind of laugh too, because I got my singing talent from Mom, which means I don't ever sing. So. She prided herself in the presentation of how she kept an organized home. I had many memories in the early years, and I'll try and pass on a couple stories here that always brought a smile to my face. It wasn't easy for Mom when we were young kids, having to deal with me. My sisters were good, but we had extended periods that Dad was away fishing, supporting the family. But she was always looking forward to his homecomings, and boy, she was happy when he got home. She could pass the buck to him. Mom did not rule with an iron fist. She used a wooden spoon. She progressed to hockey sticks when the spoons broke. And I know firsthand. And Mom had a big, powerful voice. She could sing out our names when it was time for dinner. She'd open the front door and just belt out, it's, Warren or Darlene, and we would be down in the ravine. We were probably a kilometer away, and everybody's head would turn up, and we'd become running. because if you didn't, boy, you had that wooden spoon. So I can still remember hearing, Warren! But it was kind of like the dinner call for the whole neighborhood, because she'd call, it was time for us, and all the other kids would be going, well, it's time to go home. Yeah, we're all going to have dinner, and we'll be out after. So Mom was kind of the dinner bell for the community. She was a huge part of our community, and she always says, it takes a village to raise a child. That was her philosophy. Our school, our elementary school that we attended, was only 5 houses away. So if ever there was going to be a fight at the school, it would come up and happen in our front yard. Mom made sure that she'd come out of the house and be sure it was a fair fight. And then she bandaged any inflicted wounds that were necessary. All fights were at the house. That's why I probably got my fair share of them. Mom coached Darlene's baseball, softball team, and in the initial years, she took the team to a silver medal standing in the league, and she knew nothing about baseball. She just had that ability to get the best out of the team. Otherwise, yeah. So it was good. It was fun. It was fun to watch, and there was a lot of laughs with it. She was also involved in figure skating, which she mandated for me. Not just my sisters. I had to be part of figure skating, which was pretty hard as a kid. She used to design and sew costumes for all the carnivals that took place. Personally, I hated my costumes and everything that went with it. So I didn't have much say in the matter. It improves your skating for hockey, she would always tell me, which was true. I was a very powerful skater, and it probably came from some of the figure skating. I could move so nicely around the players. So she was a big part of minor hockey and lacrosse. She was a scorekeeper. We saw some pictures of her announcing. And then when she didn't like what they were doing with the league, she would join the management part so that it was corrected. She always wanted grandchildren as well when we were getting older, and she continuously dropped hints to us. And I'd always say, my sisters have the steady boyfriends. It's not me. Don't talk to me about it. And as it turned out, we were the first ones to have Tony and Shay. So I guess she pounded that into me too. So yeah, get out there and have children. So she was blessed with 8 grandchildren, and she had a great grandchild as well that she followed. She was an amazing baba and supportive to all and at any given moment. She also supported all our little fur babies that we had and would take them to the house, and they treated them as their own. She took pride in passing her vast knowledge of homemaking, cooking, and recipes. And she loved to oversee the creation of the perfect pierogies that were not so perfect, but she worked with it. She had particular ways of loading washing machines and liked to instruct everybody how to place clothes properly so it got washed right. The ironing and folding was also very important to her to pass on. But if you could master the folding of a folded sheet, you were top notch. I had to learn how to put the pockets in, fold, flip. I can do it. I get them from all my friends. They hand them to me because usually it's a ball in the closet that you pull out and put on the bed. So I did get my gold standard on that one. She was always quick as a whip and at the top of her game to the very end, as we all know. Her Tuesday bowling sessions, right up to the end with the ladies, was the highlight of her week. She'd get to socialize and be out, and she was always complaining that a lot of our friends and family are disappearing on us. She's now with her friends and my father. I don't think she left us too early. She had a good life, and she was spunky right to the very end. She was loved by all. And she'll be cherished. We miss her. Thank you. Come here.
As you know, when family members speak about the loss, it hits a little bit harder because there's so much involved in all the feelings and emotions and the memories. But it's wonderful as family members can share. Brenda asked me to share a little bit today as she's not here. With her mother's approval, she had prearranged a trip, and she had her last days with her mother, and they were all good, and her mother agreed that she needed to go on this trip. So Brenda's memories she wanted shared were, as a teenager, one of her friends lived on the other side of their fence. And this time they went to the show in New Westminster after her friend moved away to Surrey. They weren't quite dressed appropriately to come out when it was dark and cold, as Marjorie had told them before they left. When they did come out, they were chilled, very chilled, and called Marjorie to come and pick them up, which she did. She had already put her hair in rollers and a scarf on, but went to go and get them anyway. But there was miscommunication where they were meeting, and Marjorie had to walk up and down the streets with her rollers in her hair, looking for them. But she always came when her kids needed rides. That friend had moved to Kelowna years ago, but her and her dad visited Marjorie in her last days. That's the impact that she's had on so many lives. Marjorie had gotten a new accountant and only saw him a couple of times, and he told Brenda what a firecracker she was. As you know, and have heard here today, Marjorie had a charismatic personality. She was larger than life. She had a way of bringing joy to many and a caring heart that touched countless people. So many talents and gifts she had. When Marjorie found out her days were limited, she said she was at peace with moving on, and she was happy to say she had experienced a very happy, satisfying, and fulfilling life. She said almost everyone in Sid's families were gone, and she was fortunate to have lived to the age that she was. And it was said earlier that her best friend actually died on the same day that she did. But Marjorie had the privilege to pass away at her home in her own bed. She was visited by friends and family during her end days. Her daughters, Darlene and Brendan's son, were at her side when she passed. So many wonderful memories to look back on. Please know, I'm very sorry for your loss of the wonderful woman who deeply touched your lives. I would just like to add that grieving is a natural feeling to loss, and it brings many different emotions. As you deal with those emotions, though, the healing of that pain can change into cherished good memories and can truly bring smiles when they come into your mind as you deal with the pain. That is the gift of healing. And I'm thinking especially for the young ones here today, losing someone you love. When younger, it's not as easy as it is for us older ones, I don't think. But even as hard as it is today, her life and death bring hope and encouragement to put into practice the many gifts each one of us have been given to make our life and others meaningful like Marjorie's. She wouldn't want you to get stuck in the place of grieving. She would want you to cherish the good you experienced with her and not give up when things get hard or seemingly overwhelming. Her life's journey reminds us to embrace the beauty of nature, to cherish the love of a significant other, family members and friends, and never to take life too seriously that we forget to laugh and smile. These are lessons we should carry forward and never forget. So with that being shared, I would like to close the celebration of Marjorie's life with a very special version of the 23rd Psalm, followed by myself and the family leading into the other room for refreshments. The Lord is my shepherd. That's relationship. I shall not want. That's supply. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. That's rest. He leadeth me beside still waters. That's refreshment. He restoreth my soul. That's healing. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness. That's guidance. For his name's sake, that's purpose. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that's challenge. I will fear no evil. That's assurance. For thou art with me, that's faithfulness. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. That's shelter. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies, and that's hope. You anoint my head with oil. That's consecration. My cup runneth over. That's abundance. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. That's blessing. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord. That's security. Forever. And that's eternity. Thank you for all who have come today and to share your love and care with the family. They've appreciated it so much. And so now the family would like you to join them in the next room with refreshments. And again, thank you for coming.
And I just wanted to say, if anybody wants, after we eat, around one, we'll go to the to Robinson Memorial Park, and my mom will be put to rest. You're welcome to attend. It might be a little bit wet and muddy, but you know it'll be okay if you're there. And then after that, we're gonna have an open house, so there'll be food and we can have some liquor there. So they told me they know about the Jagers and we weren't allowed to drink. We'll do it back home. Everyone enjoy the food. And, where is the bar? It is in Coquitlam, and we can probably go in a procession. It's at Robinson and Foster. It's, I think, 621 Robinson. Yeah. And our address is 945 Lillian. It should be available here too. But if we don't, I'll